So hello, also from my side, and thank you for the opportunity to be with you and to talk about research data management. I have been working in Slovenian social science data archives for 10 years now, and part of my work is advising to social science researchers on how to prepare data management plan to be able to publish the data at our archive. I am aware that many of you come from other scientific disciplines. Given my experience and education, I have the most to say about good practices and standards in the social sciences. However, I recommend you that you always seek information on data management from the discipline-specific data service providers. For the introduction, let me first briefly tell you about ADP, Arhiv družboslovnih podatkov, and give you the idea of what you can find at discipline-specific data archives. Slovenian Social Science Data Archives was founded in 1997. So this year we celebrate 25th anniversary. We are located at the Faculty of Social Sciences. However, we provide services for all Slovenian universities and research organizations dealing with high quality research data. ADP is a service provider for the consortium of Social Science Data Archive, for the European Consortium of Social Science Data Archives. We are a proud holder of a core trust seal certificate, which proves that ADP is able to maintain research data on a long term. ADP is otherwise also involved in many European projects such as EOSC Future, Shock, by COVID, and several others. So what is ADP's mission? To ensure and promote sustainable services of ingest, storage, and access to quality research data from the field of Slovenian social sciences and broader with, this is important, potential for secondary analysis. So our main services are acquiring important research data from a wide range of social sciences, appraisal of submitted research data and their selection for deposit, ingesting and processing research data and other documentation, together with creation of metadata, and then of course long-term digital preservation, enabling access and reuse for scientific, educational, and other purposes. We also provide training on research data management and also reuse of research data. And beside this, also promotion of open data and open science among students, librarians, journals, citizens, and also, of course, researchers. The European landscape of social science data services is well developed. There are similar services available all over Europe, from Athens up to Bergen in Norway. We, the Social Science Data Archives, are organized in a European network, as I already mentioned, Consortium of European Social Science Data Archives. We build common services such as data catalog, common data catalog. We develop training materials and much more. The CISDA data catalog contains more than 40,000 surveys, including questionnaires, survey descriptions, raw data, and much more. So for those who are searching for data through the CISDA data catalog, researchers can access the surveys that are otherwise published in national archives across Europe. For those who plan to publish the data, a study published with ADP will be automatically discoverable in this common European data catalog. Now, we have learned about social science data services available in Slovenia and also in Europe, but there are also other data infrastructures operating in Slovenia that are part of European research networks and can offer similar data services. In addition to ADP and CISDA, There are Clarin for language technologies, Daria for arts and humanities, and Elixir for life sciences. They're also available to researchers in Slovenia. Now I would like to share with you some real-life examples that we often come across in the archives. We hear often, oh, I forgot to ask the research participants for their consent to share data. Or, well, I promised the participants that I would use that I would delete the data, that I will use the data exclusively for this project. Or, look, I need a digital object identifier as soon as possible, but I don't have time to transcribe all 50 interviews right now. So these are the cases where researchers contacted us only at the final stage of a project and were already in a hurry to publish their data. To avoid stressful situations at the end, we recommend that first researchers plan their data management, and second, that you start planning soon enough, because good and timely data management planning is one of the important aspects of achieving data quality. Yeah, before we delve deeper into the research data management, one more thing. So the first question we in the archive usually ask a researcher who comes to us is, what is your research data? And experience show that at the beginning, it is often not clear what the data is. So for better understanding of what we are looking for, I share some definitions. So research data is any information that has been collected, observed, generated, or created to validate original research findings. This data can take various forms. They can appear as facts, observations, interviews, recordings, measurements, experiments, simulations, software, and so on. Here are some more examples of research data. For example, in sciences, you deal with meteorological data, groundwater data, spectral surveys, biodiversity surveys. You have experiment data, observations, calculations, and so on. In social sciences, very common we have there are very common opinion polls, surveys, interviews, social media, laboratory experiments, demographic records, census records, voting records, economic indicators, and so on. And in the field of arts and humanities, for example, newspapers, video material, letters, diaries, books, articles, church records, court records, maps, art artifacts, historic artifacts, and so on. When thinking about publishing your data, you need to be aware of in which format your data appears, because there can be several, of course, and not every data archive can take whatever format you have. You need to be aware of the size of your data. You can have big data or small data. Then especially take care about sensitiveness of your data. If you deal with human participants or with species of plants or animals, commercially sensitive data, state secret, and so on. And of course, it is also very important if your data has a long or a short-term value. These questions help us to better understand your data and to support you better in the data management. So no matter what kind of data you work with, no matter which discipline you come from, this picture of the data life cycle describes how data flow through a research project from a start to finish. So before you start planning your data collection, you should check if there is data for your research already available in the data repositories. If not, then you should start planning how will you organize and document your data, how you will process your data, where you will store it, how will you protect it, and of course, where you will publish your data that it will be discoverable and reusable also by others. I believe you have already heard about making your data FAIR. So FAIR stands for findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. The ultimate goal of this principles fostered by research funders is to optimize the reuse of data. So to be able to make your data FAIR, start your research data management early in your research. So finally, we arrive to the question, what is research data management? It refers to how you handle, organize, and structure your research data throughout the research process. It addresses also your plans, this is very important, after the research is complete, not only during the research. A good data management strategy takes into account technical, organizational, structural, legal, ethical, and sustainability aspects. It makes your research time efficient, reproducible, and safe as possible. It is that your data is also structured and documented. Yeah, and now about the research data management planning. So a research data management plan is a useful tool to help you with planning. It helps you to manage your data properly and not to forget anything. It clarifies needed budget ahead. Remember, you will not forget that you need the transcription of all your 50 interviews at the end, or that you'll need to buy, for example, a certain software to be able to manage your data properly. Research data management plan is a formal document that provides a framework for how to handle the data material during and after the research project. It is a living document that changes together with the needs of a project and its participants. It is updated through the project to make sure that it tracks such changes over time and that it reflects the current state of your project. However, there is a diversity of DMPs out in the field. So let's spend a minute on this question. Here you can find some examples of different data management plans that are available in Slovenia or in global research community. Firstly, there are disciplinary specific data management plans. Disciplinary plans are adapted to the requirements and standards of the disciplines. One example is the plan we have developed at the Consortium of European Social Science Data Archives. Using this plan is easy because we have also prepared an online guide. It is a self-standing learning tool which helps you with definitions, explanations, tips, tricks, good practice, and so on. Then you can also find institutional data management plans. These are aligned with the open data policies of the institutions. For example, the data management plan for PhD students at University of Ljubljana, or another example, data management plan for researchers at the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of Ljubljana. And another example that I would like you to point to is provided by the Science Europe. Science Europe is an association of major research funding organizations, and the Slovenian research funding organization RRS is also a member of this association. So Science Europe DMP was developed by interdisciplinary team on the international level. Their argument of why to use this tool is that varying organizational requirements can be confusing for researchers who work with different organizations, who change their home institution, or who work together with researchers from other organizations where different rules apply. So additional argument for using this tool that I would like to stress is that there is also guidance available for researchers and also for reviewers. So I recommend you to check on these links. To get a better idea about how data management plans look like when they are ready to be shared, I suggest you to visit a platform or a web page called DMP tool. This tool is used by various universities as a place for their researchers to find official templates and to publish their DMPs. Some of these data management plans are publicly available and might be a good starting point for you to search for good practice or also for bad ones. Note that these DMPs are not checked for quality. So why is good to practice a data management? Because it is an important ground of responsible science. It helps to easily find and understand data, make research reproducible, increase your impact, increase reuse potential, and of course, you comply with funder or institutional mandates. So these are the main benefits of data management. A right place to look for support with your data management is a discipline-specific data repository. There you can get individual counseling, also online training materials, such as data management expert guide that I'm showing you here on the slide. Then also we provide trainings like webinars, workshops on research data management, on data discovery, and so on. Discipline-specific data repositories are not the only place where you can publish your data. You can also publish your data at the institutional data repositories, for example, at the repository of the University of Ljubljana, or at the general purpose repositories such as Zenodo. And there are but many more available if you check the registry of research data repositories called RETRI data. If your data is of a high quality and has the potential to be reused for other purposes, then it is a good practice to publish it with discipline experts. In discipline-specific data archive, your data is properly documented with metadata. It is reviewed for quality. It is searchable and discoverable in catalogs, such as CISDA data catalog, as I was already mentioning before. And it is also citable in articles. As such, it can be considered as a first-class research output. And thank you for your attention. I wish you all the best with your data management. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact Slovenian Social Science Data Archives. We are happy to assist you.